Hello, everyone. My name is Ron Oliver. I'm the CEO and founder of Elite Dynamic Life. And today we have a very special guest. We have a world champion in the house. This is Reggie Johnson, world champion. He has an absolutely amazing career, 52 fights, only 7 losses, which he's going to talk about because it's controversial. And he's got 44 wins, folks, 25 knockouts, traveled all over the world, a true world champion. And it's just an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming in today, brother. I really appreciate your time and so excited to hear your stories and how you can impact and inspire the world so people will never give up. So thank you for coming in today, sir.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing your platform. And like I told you earlier, I'm 57 years old. I can't box, and I really miss being in that ring. But everything that I've learned, everything, all the places I've been, man, my greatest thing is working with kids. I got my youngest son is 25. He's been at the gym almost a year, and all of a sudden, I'm like, "Why you wait so late? I started at 12, but guess what? I'm at the gym with him every day now, 5 days a week,
Oh,
and
that's
he
cool.
just turned 25 years old, man.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So does he enjoy it too?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And just like me, the life I've lived with boxing, you know what to do. You know how to handle that. First day he went there, the first thing we did was put a headgear and gloves and a mouthpiece on it and let him and see where he was. And that's the reason why he's been there for almost a year. Because well, not only me, the other coaches and everybody saw something within him that say, hey man, just.
That's awesome. So it must be pretty cool for a young man to grow up and traveling the world and getting the opportunity to fight the best there is in every country that you went to. It must have been
Oh,
amazing.
oh, absolutely, man. But and we're not even talking about being a professional fighter. Being like my story, I grew up fast. I have twin sisters.
Wow.
My late mother had me when she was 14. My dad was locked up. So I grew up fast, had a job at 15 years old, um, was traveling all over Houston and the surrounding areas boxing. Had a great people at the Kroger's, a huge grocery store, where they worked with the late Mr. James Carter, who's my white daddy. He was my Gus. Like, Tyson had Gus. I had the late Mr. James Carter, head coach at the Salvation Army Boys Club. Hey man, this man invested in me and so many guys, but this man took a liking into me. And like I said, man, the first day I put gloves on, my uncle Kenneth I Man Walker and his best friend Ben, they took me there. The first day I put gloves on, sparred with a kid who had quite a few amateur fights. And when they was taking the headgear and the gloves off, the late Mr. James Carter said, "Young man, don't you know you could become champion of the world?" I
Wow.
held on to that, man, and
That's
you
awesome.
know, hey man, after that day, it was it. No baseball, no football, no soccer. I played all sports, man, and I was just focused on boxing. And then I lost my first what, one, two, three, four, five. I lost my first. No, I lost my first 4 amateur fights. First fight I had got disqualified for slapping. That's when they had the white on the end of the gloves and I wasn't turning it over. Third round, and I was winning that fight. Third round, I got disqualified. But when I won that fifth fight, I think the next fight I lost, I was fight in the finals in the JO Nationals, and I had like about, I think, almost 30 plus a little over 30, a little under 30 amateur fights then.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many amateur fights did you have before you went pro?
I was 96-12 as an
Wow.
amateur. Yeah, 96-12, and I lost to Frank Tate, who went on to win the gold medal in the Olympic trials.
Wow, that's a lot of amateur fights and a lot of wins.
Yeah, yeah, that was back in 83, 84. Yeah.
So,
Me, Tyson, Holyfield, Virgil Hill. Oh man, Holyfield. Hey man, there was so many great fighters. Oh, Medrick Taylor, Pernell Whitaker. I came up on the U.S. team fighting in nationals and big tournaments and amateur fights during that time with those great fighters who went on to become world champions, most of them.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a group of champions right there.
And you know who was the greatest amateur fighter of all time, they say, who was back then too?
Who?
Mark Breland. You ever heard of him?
I don't think I know that name.
Oh man, look up Mark Breland. Hey man, he was the best amateur of
Wow.
all time. Yeah, yeah. Mark Breland. He's from New York.
Okay. I'll look that up.
And during that year, like I told you, I lost to Frank Tate, who went on to win the gold medal. And Frank Tate, he signed with the people in my hometown. This lady, Josephine Abercrombie, who had big money. She built a brand new gym. She had a guy named Bob Spagnolia, was a former fighter. She hired him to run the gym. And I was with them as a kid, but I didn't sign with them because they signed Frank Tate, who I lost to in the Olympic trials. And you know, everything happened for a reason because the late Mr. James Carter, he found a group of business people who loved boxing. Could you imagine a 17-year-old kid? I was getting ready to turn 18, getting a check for 250,000, a brand new car, and
Wow.
they paid my rent for 2 years.
Wow. And back then, that was a lot more money than 200,000 today.
Well, 250,000 now, I think it's probably worth like 900,000 or something. I think they said, yeah, yeah.
At
It's the way they
least.
looked that up. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, maybe even 1 million.
Yeah, yeah, it's in that area. It's definitely
Yeah,
in that
that's a
area.
lot. Yeah, that's
Yes.
big money back in those days.
Oh
That must
yeah.
have been exciting.
It was exciting, but it was, like I told you, I grew up fast. I had a job very young, helping my mother. My dad was locked up. My late father was locked up a lot. Uh, you know, when you tell stories like that, my dad was locked up. But I also remember my dad finally got his life together. Don't you know he started working at the business where he was saving people on the streets and working at the places, getting people to go in these places where they go, get their life together. That's what my
Yeah.
dad was doing when he passed away. Yeah,
Wow. Well, that's cool. He turned his life around. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. He did. He did.
Well, that's a
And
wonderful story. Happy
and
ending.
yeah, keep in mind, like my mother had me when she was 14, and I think my dad was like 16, 17 or something like that. But like I said, man, I grew up fast.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what is it like for a day in the life of a champion boxer, a world champion? Give us an idea of what it's like. You went to what time do you get up and what do you do for the day, in the day of a life of a world champion?
Well, what do I do in this day and time?
No, no, like back in the day when you were training.
Oh man, back in the day, hey man, we up about 4:35 because when I got on that level, man, we was always up real early. When we get through running, we start running it's pitch dark, but we finish running it's daylight. So we started real early, and one of the things I like to share with people, my career got to a point to where my last fight when I was living in my hometown where I'm back at in Houston. I fought in South Africa, went over there with one coach, the late Jamie Fields, and he's passed now. But I went over there with him and the manager and the people. I couldn't understand why come they didn't go to South Africa with me, but they sent me over there with him. Leading up to the fight, we over there a month and a half. I'm over there acting like Ali. I'm fighting a guy in his backyard. End up beating him so bad that his corner threw the towel in. Charles Oosthuizen, and
Wow.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but every once in a while he and I talk because he got sons that's pro boxers now. But that just the experience in that, and I had to be about 22 then, 21, 22. I wasn't over 23, but when I think in retrospect, and I really understand when you read about apartheid and all the stuff was going on over there. A lot of countries wasn't doing business. I wasn't supposed to be over there, but I went over there and fought that guy. And then this guy, Charles Oosthuizen, he has two sons that come up boxing pro, and one of them had to come to America and fight.
Wow.
Fight a guy in America. So till this day, man, I was just, hey man, when you're doing something that you love to do, it's not work. You just
Yeah.
got to put in the work to get it done. But it's not work. To me, it's like, man, I'm doing something that I love to do. South Africa, and one of the good things about that, even before I started boxing, I was flying from Houston to Tucson, Arizona every summer to my grandmother, my dad's mother house, spending the summer with my grandmother. So, I was ready for the plane,
Yeah.
that wasn't a problem. And I always share this with people because I know I was blessed by the best, because when I fought in South Africa from Houston to New York, don't you know I was on that same Pan Am flight 103, the one that crashed? I was on that same flight
Wow.
from here to and I think right when I got back, that happened. That same plane had crashed and killed all those people. And that's the same
Wow.
flight that I was on, man. Just knowing that I was on that flight during that time, where it was, that happened probably 3 weeks, a month after, but something like that. But just think about that, man.
That's
And
wild.
I got so much stuff, boxing stuff, trophies, uh, pictures. Oh man, I got over 75,000 pictures. I love frozen time, but man, if I could ever find those tickets, man, you know what that would kind of like be worth, or just to be able to show that to people when I'm speaking.
Yes.
And
That'd
yeah,
be
and I
amazing.
got so much stuff, man. But one day I'm gonna find those tickets. Yeah.
Awesome. So what was it like fighting around the world and fighting the best that different countries are, able to bring forward to fight for the title of world champion?
Well, I'm gonna start with the amateur traveling, because I started leaving the fighting in different countries in the amateurs.
Okay.
I did Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan. Keep in mind, at this time I'm 16 years old. Me and Tyson, that's when met Tyson. We the same age, and I fought 2 times on that tour. And then my second tour was Bangkok, Thailand. I fought in the World Kings Cup tournament. That's a world amateur tournament, people from all over the world, and I won that at age 16.
Wow.
Uh, and it was crazy, because when I think in retrospect, I think I fought what 4 or 5 times, but my first fight was it my first fight of the? I think, yeah, the first fight I fought the guy that was from Bangkok and beat
Wow.
him, and and then I went on to win. All that stuff is out there. If you look it up, it's out there. Uh, and winning that, coming back, then fighting in the Olympic trials, which happened to be in my state, Fort Worth area, Texas. I lost my first fight. I fought Frank Tate, who went on to win the gold medal. When your whole life, when you're doing something that you love to do, man, it's so easy. You have to put in the work, and I shouldn't say it's easy. You got to put in the hard work, but it's easy work when it's all over. When you think about it, because you're doing something that you love to do, man.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit. Most people don't love what they do for a living. The surveys say that 85% of people hate their job. So, maybe 15% like their job, maybe 14% like their job. I'm not sure how many love their job. It's not something you hear very often. So, what a blessing to be able to do something you love for a living and it take you all over the world. How awesome is that?
And the ultimate sport of boxing, man. It's a sport that it's one of the sports that you can't play boxing.
No.
You can't. Hey, I'll prove that to you. You can't play boxing. This is what happened to watch this. That's a joke I get everybody with. I saw
Yeah.
that look on your face. You were like, oh, this guy gonna take his teeth out on.
Yeah,
No, but
you got me for
hey,
sure. I
hey, but
didn't know
like
you
I
had your
say,
teeth knocked out. So you got all your own teeth right now, right?
oh, absolutely, man. I get everybody with that.
Yeah, you got me for sure.
Sometimes people be looking at me like, oh man, he ain't gonna do this on my TV show. He's gonna take your teeth out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, what was your toughest fight as an amateur, and what was your toughest fight as a professional fighter?
Well, I think the toughest fight had to be the fight as an amateur is me losing to Frank Tate to represent the U.S. team in the Olympic trials in 1984. I think that was my toughest fight, and I had other tough fights, but that was the toughest one to have, and not uh, ended with a win. And my toughest fight as a professional fighter is the best fight of my era. Uh, Roy Jones Jr., man, he was the best of our era.
Yeah, he was such a amazing fighter, wasn't he?
Oh,
And
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
unorthodox. Like you, man, he was hitting from more angles than I could count.
Well, it's even more of a story to go with him because I remember when I was with Murad Muhammad 3M Promotions, they had me meet them in his hometown, and we was training there, and they was having a pro fight there. That was going to be my first pro fight, and I remember I fought there, but before I fought there, me and Roy was training together. We were sparring together. As a matter of fact, I think we sparred probably 3, 4, 5 times, and Roy told his dad, "That's it. I'm not sparring this guy. I'm not sparring Reggie no more." And keep in mind, I had already been pro before him because I came up with the '84. He's with the '88 during that time, amateur. Uh, and like I was telling Murad and everybody back then, even his dad, I said, "Man, your son, he the real deal. He's gonna be he's gonna be somebody to deal with." And I had to deal with him, and we fought, man. But I just like Mr. Carter, what Mr. Carter saw in me, I saw in him. Just sparring with Roy Jones Jr. He became one of the best of our era. And the thing with boxing, man, is so if you think about it, the greatest fighter of our era, Roy Jones. It's hard for me to believe this, but the reality of it is anything could happen when that bell rang. I think Roy had been stopped, what, 3 times or something like that? 3 or 4 times. That's what's so amazing. You know, you could all it takes is one punch, man. That's why they say boxing is it's a sport that you can't play. You can't play boxing. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to even mention that word play when you talking about boxing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have someone trying to knock your block off.
Oh yeah, try to take you out, man. And that's another thing I can say. Having a 96-12 amateur fight, never being stopped, never being beat up, and having 52 pro fights. Uh, every time I got knocked down, the only fight I didn't win when I got up was the Roy Jones fight. Uh, but I've never been beat up or knocked out in a pro fight. Also,
That's amazing.
yes.
That so, these days you've probably noticed life seems to be the most difficult it's ever been in our lifetimes. Just the way
Mhm.
life is, inflation, health issues everywhere. And I truly believe that, there's people that win at life. It's not just winning at a sport, right? Winning at life is what we all need to figure out, right? And
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
there's
You're
lots
right.
of people that are losing at the game of life, but I believe that's just because they lack knowledge and they lack the ability to stay committed and they end up quitting on themselves. How does a world champion develop the fortitude and the determination to just it's not even in your DNA to quit. You guys bounce back from most unbelievable fights and oftentimes you see someone who gets knocked down, gets back up. I've even seen some fighters you have too. They get knocked out and they come back to consciousness, get up and win the fight. How does a man develop that type of determination?
Well, I don't think that a man have anything to do with that when you say how do you develop that. I think that's something that you got to be born with.
Is
Uh,
God given, eh?
it's God given. And think about this, man. Think about they got some fighters that can get in there the way they fight. You can tell they real nervous, but they still fighting. And they sometimes they still winning because it's like don't nobody want to get take no punches on the head or get hit or get their teeth knocked out. But think about it, man. You got to have a man. Your heart, your mindset has got to be on a whole different level when that to be getting in that ring, knowing that your life, your teeth, your health, and I've had fights too where I've thrown punches so hard that I told I had surgery on both of my rotator cuffs right here.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, but once again, man, think about that. You still doing something that you love to do, and then you find out that what you love to do is your job. It's how you going to take care of your kids, how you going to take care of your family, how you going to take care of your community. How you gonna, stand up and speak up and say, "Hey, man, I'm a noted name in this city, in this state, in this nation, and hey, man, this got to go like this. It's not right. You can't do that to those people." And that's crazy when you bring up this whole thing about racism or people not liking people, man. Hey, man, we all part of the human race, man. And you know what? If you treat people the way you want to be treated, if the world could get that in their head, man, man, like Mr. Carter used to always tell us, Reggie, we come a long way. Well, we got a long way to go. And we can't give up on it. We got to keep working on it. Hey, man, you judge people by their character, man. You don't judge them by the color of their skin.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, because I done got my butt whooped by a guy that looked like you. I done got my butt whooped by a guy that looked like me. I done got my butt whooped by a guy that speaks Spanish. Anybody can whoop your butt, man. And guess what? And you can whoop anybody's butt. So think about that, man. That just came to me right there. But think about it, man. If you look at it from that perspective, that point of view, like that, man, you don't judge people by uh the color of their skin. You judge them by their character, who they are, what
Absolutely.
they stand for. Yeah,
Yeah, how they treat others, right?
yeah. And let me also share this with you because I always uh tell people this here. The late Mr. James Carter. If you put Reggie Johnson bio and put the words together, put that in YouTube, it'll tell my whole story in like 5 minutes. And you'll see Mr. Carter, my late mother, my late father, my late uncle who started me to boxing. All these people are gone now, man. Uh, and you look at that story, I mean, it'll bring you up to speed on pretty much tell my story with boxing, man. Just Reggie Johnson bio with no space in between on YouTube,
Okay.
and it'll tell my whole story. You'll see the late uh, Mr. James Carter. They used to call him Miniature Bum Phillips. You know who Bum Phillips is?
No, who's that?
He used to be the head coach of the Houston Oilers, the NFL football team, and that's what they used to call Mr. Carter. He was a little short guy, Miniature Bum Phillips. They look like they could be brothers, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how did you maintain your health throughout your career? What was your workout regime like and your diet?
Oh well, like I told you, man. I'll be August 28. I'll be 58 years old. I never had a beer, nothing foreign in my body. I was taught
Wow.
that by Mr. Carter. My only drug is every once in a while I drunk a soda. I used to drink a lot of soda when I could back then, but like even with that, probably in a month I might drink a soda probably 1 or 2 times. I've even as you get older, you got to even like get back from that too. So yeah, not putting nothing foreign in my body. They got all this stuff now. I didn't hear the guys talk about it and hey, Reggie, this and that, man. If you do this, that, you take this shit shot. No, man, I don't mess with no needles either, brother. I don't do none of that stuff. You ain't shooting me with nothing.
Yeah, me
It's just
too,
like
brother.
if I have a headache, hey man, I don't even like taking that like aspirins and stuff like that. There's been time that I had to like I had surgery here, surgery here. The doctors, professional doctors, uh, uh, had to put me to sleep and shoot me. But outside that, man, that's yeah. I don't even rock like that, man. And I don't even hang out with people. I ain't nothing wrong with having a glass of wine or somebody drinking a beer. But I mean, when you get to talking about illegal drugs or a person just take. Even if you're drinking too much wine when you're getting drunk doing stuff or you're driving drunk, hey man, I can't hang out with people like that, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, what was your diet like when you were fighting professionally? How were you eating on a daily basis?
Oh man. Well, I fought middleweight as a professional, and then I was getting ready to move up to 68. And then that's when the opportunity came. I got that phone call to fight William Guthrie, who had just won the world title. He was undefeated. I think he was 25-0 or something like that. And I skipped 68 and went right straight to 75. But my whole thing with eating, man, hey, like till this day, I still eat the chicken salads. That's like right now. One day I ate salads even till this day. That's why I haven't blew up like when most fighters retire, man, they get so big. I don't never want to do that, man. One day I ate salads 11 days in a row. Like later today. That's why I'm gonna probably go to. They got a place called Saladas. Have you ever heard of Saladas salad bar?
No, that's only in the States. We don't have it up in Canada.
Oh, y'all don't have that in Canada. Oh man, that's Saladas, man. This is where you go through there and you build your own salad. Tell them what all you want in your salad. It's awesome, man.
Oh,
It's
nice.
awesome. So that's my whole thing with getting ready for fights was eating like chicken, salads, uh, and I was never one of those guys that like taking a lot of stuff they say is natural or pills or vitamins and all that stuff, man. I just ate well, just ate a lot of vegetables and things like that, man.
Well, so your favorite protein was chicken?
Yes, oh yes, yes, yep, yep. And I'm not talking about fried chicken either.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
baked chicken?
yeah. Baked chicken with the salads and stuff like that. Yeah, that was it, and seafood was also good too. Fish and yeah.
Okay, cool. And so you eat quite a bit of protein because you were working out so hard?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. We had to eat the protein too, man. You know, those well fighters, man. When you're having to make weight, and it was even the heavyweights, they still have a weight they want to come in and fight it that they gonna feel that's at their best. So even with them, man, they had to do the same thing.
So how much would you guys train per day as far as exercise between the running and the sparring and the bag work and focus mitts and all of that? And how many hours a
I mean,
day would you train?
oh man, well, like I can tell you my whole day. Like I told you, start like about 4:30 in the morning. We get up and run today like this and that, and shower. Then we get through running. We'll go somewhere, eat a little breakfast, go home, and like let me give you a perfect example. Like when I was in California, when I moved there in '88 after I left South Africa, we would get up early in the morning, fold something. I would drive like 30, 40 minutes to Chato. Chato was my chief trainer when I moved to California in '88. After I left South Africa, came back with getting fights. I moved to California, signed with the people there. But I would get up, drive to his house early in the morning, about 4 something in the morning. Get there, we go run. We get through running. I go to his house, we shower, we eat, and then I wait because the gym was in LA. I lived in Long Beach, California. So we would go to the gym, and then when I leave the gym, I come back home. And then when I come back home later that evening, certain days, 3, 4 days out of that week, I would go to the strength gym to lift the weights and stuff, and do the jacuzzi and all that type of stuff. So that kind of like was the layout for me, and I've done that for years.
So what type of weight training did you do? Because obviously you don't want to become muscle bound or slow. So what type of weightlifting did you do when you were boxing?
Oh man, hey, we did the weights well. It wasn't a lot of heavy weights, and we would hit them weights, boom, 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 we get up and then run up the stairs, boom, 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 come back and then do another one. And have you ever heard of Tim Hallmark?
Yeah.
Tim Hallmark is the guy who put all that muscle and all that stuff on Holyfield. And I remember when Holyfield was here in Houston, Texas, training. Um, One day we was at the gym and he said, "Man, you need." I was getting ready to fight Lamar Parks, who was signed with Madison Square Garden. He was knocking everybody out, and Holyfield told me, he said, "Reggie, you need to get with Tim." And that's the first time I ever really had a real professional strength coach, Tim Hallmark. And I went and met with him downtown Houston, and we put that together. I started working with him. And this guy, Lamar Parks, keep in mind, I had just won the world title, and I had to fight him. He was #1 by all the sanctioning bodies. He's my mandatory, and I was the underdog. I'm the world champion. And the one thing I did have in that contract when I fought was my first title defenses in my hometown, Houston, Texas. And I fought him. I think I was 3-1, 4-1 underdog to win that fight, and I'm the champion fighting in my hometown. And that's the first time I had ever had a professional strength coach with the weights. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I tell everybody this story. I told it to Tim. I said, man, this. After that fight was over, and Lamar Parks was knocking everybody out. As a matter of fact, I just talked to him not too long ago. He's in Houston about a month and a half ago, and we was hanging out. But hey, man, I had never felt like that in the ring before. After that weight thing, I could have won another 12 rounds, and I was the underdog. And Lamar Parks was knocking Kid Fire is what they call him, Lamar Kid Fire Parks. He was knocking everybody out. Signed with Madison Square Garden, and that fight is on YouTube, man. You go look at that fight, you'll be like, man, how can this guy, man? It's like when the last bell rung, I could go another 12 rounds.
Wow.
And that was my first time working with Tim Hallmark. And man, boy, I remember just calling Holyfield, just thanking him and thanking Tim Hallmark. As a matter of fact, I just talked to Tim Hallmark about 5 or 6 days ago, and I was just with Holyfield at the National Boxing Hall of Fame. I got inducted last month on
Yeah,
the April 28th.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. On the
That is
28th.
awesome.
Yeah,
Well
just
deserved.
collaborate. Yeah, man, and it's a beautiful thing, man, when you go to something like that and they recognizing you. But man, the thing that really turns me on, man, is just reconnecting with all the boxing people, the fighters, man. It was just a beautiful thing, man. Yeah.
So is Tim Hallmark, is he still training boxers?
Well, yeah. Well, he don't only train boxers. He trained, man. This guy is one of the best ever. Remember, they had this one guy in New Orleans who did that, who was real popular. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they say Tim Hallmark kind of like surpassed him, but it was another strength coach guy in New Orleans, Louisiana, and he was noted for that. But I think Tim definitely on his level. I think Tim really surpassed him because Tim wasn't only training boxers; he was training football players, baseball, all athletes, man, and just people in general, noted people. He trained a lot of people, man, and hey, man, if it wasn't for Tim Hallmark, I say, well, man, you played a hell of a role in that Lamar Parks fight, man, because I had never felt like that before in a fight.
So it just made you, did you made you a stronger puncher?
Well, not only a stronger puncher, it's just the energy that I had, and I was just,
The conditioning was
when
improved.
that last bell rung, it's like I could have like started to do another 12 rounds.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And
So
if you go watch
significant
that fight,
impact.
you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll be like, even when the last bell rung, you'll be like, man, this Reggie still, I got that look like, hey, man, I'm just getting started.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible what our bodies are capable of doing if we actually put them through the work to develop.
Well, you gotta have the right team and the right people that know what they're doing, how all that stuff work. And that guy Tim Hallmark, man, he till this day, man, he's still doing it. I mean, he worked with a lot of people, and then when you're working with people that work with a lot of people like that, man, when you know them or hang out with them, that's like, man, there's so many times I mean, I'm not good at golf, but you know how many times how many times I used to go to golf to go play golf with these people, to meeting these people. It's it takes you to a whole new level in life, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yes.
what are you doing today now that you're retired from professional boxing? What is it that you do now?
Well, one of the things that just hit me probably about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I take my kids to go eat dinner, and I'm sitting at the table, and my youngest kid, well, he's 25 now, but he was 24. All of a sudden, man, he was good in sports, and he's good with music. Him writing music with this generation with the rap music and stuff. But now I was with him yesterday, and he out of town today, but he's 25 now. I've been working with my youngest kid, my youngest son. He all of a sudden he want to box. I'm like, man, why come you wait so late? I started at 12. You should have been there started. But hey man, but just like me, what they did to me the first day I started boxing as a kid, put me in there with somebody. First day we went to the gym, I put we put him in there with somebody, and just to see where he was. You can learn a lot. You know,
Yeah,
hey, this is your first time ever being in a boxing ring room, and you learn a lot. But you should, man. If I think we got some of that documented the first day he went in there, and then if you look at him now, it's been almost probably about 8 months or some 7 months he been doing it. It's yeah, yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
yeah, it's unbelievable, man. And you're only as strong as your team, man. And I don't want to be the guy that with my son all the time, or be training him all the time. I'm gonna be there for him business wise. I'm gonna be there if he even the training, but I don't want to be the his head trainer. I don't want to do that.
So you were mentioning earlier that you have a lot of passion for the youth. What kind of things are you doing with the youth? You probably doing some public speaking.
Oh yes, public speaking. I still go back to the Salvation Army Boys Club where I started at. I get calls all the time. We got this going on with the kids. Can you come to this school and do this, Reggie? Can you do that? And I never, man. eh, I try not to ever turn that down. But sometime I would have to like reschedule or get them to change the date. But man, my whole thing is, I had somebody there for me, man. How could you not be there for somebody when your whole life somebody was there for you? The late Mr. James Carter, my uncle. Man, it's my mother, my grandmother, and them. They was there for me, man. You gotta,
You
man,
pay
you
it
gotta, you
forward.
gotta. That's right. That's right. Play it forward. That's it.
So,
Yes.
what advice do you have for the young men in this world who want to grow up and become good men and create a good life for their families? What advice do you have?
Well, I'll start off with like the first day I went to the gym. Mr. Carter said, "Young man, you can be champion of the world. Don't put nothing. Don't put nothing foreign in your body that's gonna you know, catch up, hurt you, and could even probably kill you. Second thing, find something that you love to do, because if you're doing something that you love to do, you're gonna have to put in the work, but it ain't work. It ain't your job. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it ain't. And my thing, and you gotta, man. If you, it's so much easier when you find something that you love to do. It's like, hey, man, this is what God laid out for me. This God dropped this in my heart to say, hey man, this is you right here, Reggie, boxing. Let's do it. And I did it. Started at the age of 12, like Ali. And six. Come on, man. I'm 16 years old. I come from the hood too, Fifth Ward, Houston. Look that up. That's the hood. When George Foreman moved here from Marshall, Texas to Houston, Texas. That's where he was too, in Fifth Ward. Him and my dad came up together.
Yeah, it can be pretty tough on the streets in some cities in the States, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I think every state got a certain place where you can't just go hang out. It's spoken about. Hey man, y'all be careful. Don't. And it start getting dark. You better get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
You
it can be
better
real
leave.
dangerous, right? People getting
That's
shot
right.
every day.
That's right. Get out of there, man. Yes. Yeah.
So is there
But
anything else you want to share with the world before we wrap it up?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I would like to share this here, Blake. Even where I came from, Fifth Ward, uh, I still every once in a while I go there. I still probably have some friends there. I still have family members there, and I still go there. I I'm a noted person who had won the world title 3 times, but I'm still the same guy. I still go places by myself. I still could walk. I can go park the car and get out and walk around Fifth Ward and walk in Coke apartments where I was raised at. Um, Man, you gotta keep it real and man, 'cause think about it, they got some people that are so noted or famous, they can't go back to certain. They can't go walk to certain places. I would never want to be that person that can't go back and sit down. And even the people that's sleeping up under bridges, man. And that's another thing that's bad in Houston. That was in L.A. was bad. I remember when I lived there for all those years. You know, the people sleeping up under the bridge or sleeping on the streets, man. And, you know, I always invest in those people too, man. Sometimes I go hang out with them, sit there, go take them food or just talk to them or, you know, just try to put some positive stuff in you know, in their ears that maybe they can catch on and hold on to change their life.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. You, man, you, man, that you know that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? It could have been
Yeah.
my dad, or it could have been one of my relatives or somebody I know that I, you know. And I got 7 kids. My oldest kid is 30. Well, she's 39 now. Yeah. So
Wow. Hey,
and
one more question. What are your thoughts on all these YouTube fighters fighting real fighters? And what do you think of you know, this up and coming fight with Mike Tyson and that kid, you know, from YouTube?
Jake Paul, yeah. Hey, man, I've been asked that all the podcasts and interviews. A lot of people ask me about that. And I mean, what can we do about that? I think it's, to me, I think it's a beautiful thing if somebody can put something out there that the people buy the tickets or spend the money or the fly to go see us here. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I think that what Jake Paul is doing, this is going to probably get a lot of other fighters to come back. I mean, I don't want to see nobody get in a position where they, you know, get hurt or nothing, but I mean, the business, man. It's like sometimes I get paid to do stuff. I do a lot of stuff for free. Show up talking to kids or showing up somewhere, and you know, sometimes I get paid, man. But when you're doing stuff for free like that, man, it's like you giving back to your community. It's like you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think, hey, man, me, I love to see. Come on, man. 20, one of them getting 30 million, the other one getting $20 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you,
amazing.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing. And guess what? All that work and all the stuff them guys have done in their past, that it put them in that position. That, yeah, I mean, they just getting rewarded from what they, you know, the work they put in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work got them in that position.
What kind of chances do you think Jake Paul has fighting with Mike Tyson?
I think, man, when that bell ring, I think anything could happen, man. But I think I almost said second to none. But you know, once that bell ring, anything can happen, man. Because I think haven't we seen Mike Tyson quit before in a fight? We don't know we don't know what his opposition is going to bring to the table. But I do know this here though, man. He better bring something because he gonna need it.
Yeah, he better.
He better.
Absolutely.
So who you think gonna win that?
Well, looking at the training footage of you know, Mike sparring and you know, working the bag and the focus mitts, he still looks like he's got that killer instinct in him, and he still looks real ferocious.
Yeah, yeah,
He's still got that knockout power. I mean, I know Jake Paul's younger and everything, but I'm gonna still put my money on Mike. No question.
yeah,
You know, he's
yeah,
just got the experience, and he's always been an incredible man. I mean, the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. No one's ever beat that record, and that's incredible.
yeah.
19 years old, he's beaten the best in the world. That's incredible.
You know, I got a picture of me and Mike Tyson. We both were 16 at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. I got to send you that picture, man.
He looks like a man at
Yeah, yeah,
19.
he like a grown man. You're right, man. You ought to see this picture I got. He's like a grown man. Yeah, yeah,
16, right?
yeah. We both 16 on that picture. I think
Yeah.
I'm seeing my birthday August 28th. I think he June 30th, if I'm not mistaken, his birthday.
Yeah, he was a real specimen. He still is.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah. Tyson Day. Hey, now the opposition, Tyson opposition, man. That guy. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen, but man, anything can happen once that bell rings.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen. And
Anything can happen. Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a
and
big, strong kid. You know, he looks like he's putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another thing with Mike Tyson now. Mike Tyson, I'm trying to think who that stopped Mike Tyson first? Buster Douglas? Man,
That
it's
was a huge upset, wasn't it?
oh, that was a major huge upset. And then oh, I know what I'm thinking about. Buster Douglas stopped Tyson, and then Holyfield stopped Buster Douglas.
That's right.
And when Holyfield and Tyson fought, I met uh, uh, a good friend's home, and they had about 45, almost 50 people. Man, there's people everywhere. And don't you know, I was the only one at that house that was going with Holyfield's, because you know why I was going, because I know what I seen when Tyson was 16, and what's his name, the head coach at the UST, Pat Nappy, said, damn, who in the hell I'm gonna get to spar with Tyson? Holyfield said, I'll spar with him. Keep in mind, Holyfield fought 178 in the amateurs. And man, don't you know, everybody in the gym training, and they get in there, start sparring, man, the whole gym kind of like stopped working out. Everybody was like, what the? And I'm not saying that he was just beating the hell out of Tyson Holyfield, but just to see how he was doing it, you know. And that's why, man. If I was a gambler, if I would have betted some money when Holyfield and Tyson fought, if I would have bet a couple 100,000, man, I probably have about 50, $60 million, man. Because
Right.
I was the only one there going with Holyfield when him and Tyson fought.
What was it about Holyfield's style that was giving him that ability to deal with Mike Tyson?
Well, he had that. Hey man, you can have a style, but you don't have the nuts and guts and the heart. You see what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
have all that, but if you ain't got that the nuts, guts, and heart to do it, that's the thing with Holy. Hey man, he was that dude. Think about how small he was and going all the way up to heavyweight, and think about what he did not only to Tyson. Look, he fought the big Riddick Bowe.
Yeah.
Think these big old guys he's fighting, even when Holyfield was a world champion heavyweight, and then these guys are still a lot bigger than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riddick Bowe was huge.
Oh yeah. And not only was Riddick Bowe was huge, that dude was a good fighter, man.
Yeah.
A
Absolutely.
good fighter, man.
Big puncher.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about when Holyfield, when that I was at the fight when Holyfield dropped him. I think was that the second fight or the first fight? When Holyfield dropped him, that was crazy, man. Everybody was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Now that's one of the things. My only thing with boxing, one of the things I wish I would have been a heavyweight, a bigger.
Yeah. The heavyweights, they hit real hard, don't they? That's what I keep hearing.
They also hit the bank a lot harder too, with the money, more money.
Right. Yeah. They get more money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It draws more money to the heavyweight fights. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, man. And if you go back just the history of boxing with the Joe Louis and even further back, Rocky Marciano, all those guys, man, that heavy. Think about it, man. Even back then, like Rocky Marciano, those heavyweights back then, they was like, some of them were even over 200 pounds, 198, 195, 205. Look how big these heavyweights is now in this day and time, man. Them guys become
Yeah. They're
losing.
giants.
Yeah, man, they be 300 some pounds. They're having to lose weight to come down to. So think about it, man. If you losing 30, 40 pounds, getting ready for fights like a lot of fighters do, so and then if you come in a fight at 240, man, you had to be like 300 some pounds, man.
Well, look at the size of Dante Wilder. Look how tall he is, and Tyson
Oh,
Fury. These guys are huge.
yes,
So
yes,
tall, big, long
yeah,
reach.
yeah, man. It's whoo. Now that's another guy who's been blessed by the best, Deontay Wilder, because when I watch him fight, that dude could crack, man. But to watch him, just like the way I mean his jab and the way he throw punches, and he one of those guys, man. You can tell that the coaches that he had, they didn't really teach him how to really deal with a guy. They just taught him how to go out there and try to hit a guy and knock him out because he could do that. But I think Deontay Wilder, man, if he would have had the right trainers or come up with the right trainers, man, he could have been. Come on, with the power he had. Think about if he would have had a great trainer. I don't think he even had I don't know his trainers. I never heard of his trainers before.
What did you think of that fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury when Fury got knocked right out? He was out cold, and then he woke up, got back up, and then won the fight.
Yeah. That's what I remember the most.
Yeah,
Hey man,
that was wild.
oh man, and man, and you think about that guy also. I think he, I think it was that check. I think he donated his whole check to charity or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you allowing me to interview today. Great pleasure of mine to interview a world champion. It's a pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. And I'm sure that this interview will inspire a whole lot of people, entertain some people, get us laughing because you got some funny stories. And so exciting to have the privilege of interviewing you today. So thank you so much.
Okay, and you can call me anytime, man. Like if you ever need some guys, I got, I know a lot of fighters or some guys you wanna
Yeah, I'd love to interview. I'd love to interview all of them. I strongly believe that we're living in probably the hardest time in our lives, and I believe that who better to give a pep talk and encourage people to rise up and, like you said, nuts, guts, and heart. That's what we need to be
that's right.
victorious men in this world. Look at what's happened to men, right? In the
Right.
last 50 years, male testosterone has dropped 60%. That's
Wow.
that's horrific, right? And you
Woo.
got men today that have become pretty soft, pretty weak, let's be honest, right? And men aren't what they used to be. I can't think of anyone better than a world champion to tell their story and help encourage men to rise up and be better, more determined, more committed men to winning at the game of life and providing a great life for their families.
What you just said. We was talking about this not too long ago. We was at a restaurant, me and some friends and these older guys. I know a lot of business people, and they were just saying about the man in this day and time. They say, yeah, man, somebody breaking into the house and hollering and this and that. The wife get the gun and she go out there and take care of the business.
Yeah, it's getting sad, man.
Yeah,
Things
you're
have
right about
changed
that.
in our lifetime.
Yeah. The man send the woman out there to go take care of the business. Somebody breaking in the house. Hey, wait a minute, bro. You supposed to lock your wife and your kids up in the room, and then you supposed to go take care of the business. They 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 they,
Exactly.
they flipping it, man.
Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah, it is, man. But hey, man, we can't give up on nobody, man. We gotta talk to them.
Yeah, we got to build them up.
You gotta build them up, man. That's why, man. I'm blessed by the best. I got like 7 kids. All my kids are doing great.
That's
One
awesome.
one of them was getting into a little trouble. That's been years ago, but man, I'm blessed by the best, man. And all my kids are grown. That's another thing I'm blessed with too, man. They all doing well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm blessed by the best as well. My son's healthy and doing
Yeah.
great. Got married early this year. His life is going awesome for him. And that's really what it's all about, right? Watching our children grow up and have success and have a good life. That's what we all want as fathers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And you know the thing too, man. A lot of my kids be educating me, man. Because these kids, like with the computer
Oh
going
yeah.
online, man, these kids know this like the back of their hand, man. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. And my oldest kid is 39, and man, she's a businesswoman. My youngest son, the one who just started boxing, man, they know how to do. They can. I call them sometime to come over here to do this here. I need to do this. I need to do it on the computers and going online, and
Yeah.
it's amazing, man.
Oh,
It's
I
amazing.
have to rely on my son a lot too for all that because they grew up with all these computers.
That's right.
I
That's
mean, I
right.
couldn't even pass typing in high school, man. I even failed typing, never mind computers.
Oh, yeah. You're right about that. I don't know nothing about the typing. I mean, I know find myself messing with it, playing with it, but I never learned how to do that typing and stuff either. But
Yeah, I'm
uh,
still doing it with like 2 fingers on each hand. That's about it.
that's another thing too with where we at now with these cell phones. You can get a lot of stuff done. You can do stuff that
It's
Man, save
amazing.
you a lot of time. It's amazing, man. Yeah,
It is. The world has changed so much. Well,
and
thank
it's
you so
gonna get
much,
better.
brother. I really
Okay,
appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you again, and let
okay,
me
brother.
know of any of the fighters you know that'd be open to having me interview them. That would be awesome.
Okay, yeah, and then that's another thing too. If you put together a list of some of the fighters you want to talk to, and then I can also see if they in my phone, 'cause I got a lot of numbers in my phone. But I'll
Oh, that's
also
awesome.
what I
What?
do, I'll put a list together for you too, man. And
Thank you so much. What a privilege and what an honor. Again, thank you so much, brother. I really
hey,
appreciate
what
you.
about Holyfield? Have you ever?
Oh, I'd love to interview Holyfield. He's just
Oh,
an
you never?
absolute
Okay,
amazing man.
okay. I got his direct number. I was just with him at the Hall of Fame too, in last
Wow.
April 28th. But yeah, like Holyfield, man, it's woo. Yeah, whoever. Yeah, you put together a list of the fighters,
Thank you
and
so
then yeah,
much.
I'll reach out to them for you, man. No
Well,
problem.
appreciate it, man. You're solid gold. Thank you so much.
Okay, buddy. All right.
Thank you so much. God
Okay.
bless
All
you.
right. Okay, you too. But hey, as a matter of fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send you. Well, I'm gonna text Holyfield and just tell him about and give him your number.
Oh, please. That would be
Okay.
absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Maybe I should call him. What I should do is call him and say, Holy, because I don't let nobody get my number out, but I'll say, hold it, I got this guy want to do you on this podcast. Boom, boom. Are you interested? And he said, yeah. I say, call him. Can I give him your number? So yeah, I get it. I get it done for you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, brother. I really
Oh,
appreciate that.
okay, brother. You have a great day. All right.
Thank you. God bless you.
Okay. All right. You too,
Bye-bye.
brother.